Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It's great to speak to you again for the last time this week. We're on Love Island US Season 2, Episode 23. Where do you want to start today?
Dave, well, we lost our good friend in yesterday's episode. I did say, we may be regretting it, thinking we're not going to get some drama because they're all going to be sat around loved up and that. And the producers, for once, Dave, get a big tick off me because they fucking stirred that pot absolutely magnificently. It was tremendous to watch today, Dave.
It was, wasn't it? I mean, straight away, straight off the bat, you get Sally coming back from her date with Benny. She drags the girls across. She's got nothing but good things to say. Seems like a really nice guy and everything. Johnny, as you said yesterday, he's sort of he's looking really quite vulnerable, but the guys are all trying to, play it cool and reassure Johnny. But when they go up to the spill the tea area, what did you make to that whole conversation between the two?
I honestly think Johnny's out of order, to
Yeah,
be honest, Dave. He sort of forced her into a corner. I was watching her body language. She kept putting her hand over her mouth. So when he was saying to her, like, well, you need to tell him and you mean to make it clear, I'm thinking, who the fuck are you talking to? Who the hell do you think you are? You've put this girl through the ringer anyway by actually copping off with what she called Mercedes. You
yeah.
did more than that. That he never mentioned the fucking game where he carried on kissing and give everybody a floor show and was literally fucking sticking his fucking groin area in her face, Dave. I'm trying to be, I know I swear a lot, but I'm trying to be a little bit thingy. But he did all that. He gave them all like a fucking strip tease. And then he's got the nerve to say that I think she did nothing wrong. I think she was just genuinely like felt nice that somebody liked her other than Johnny. She didn't do anything wrong. I don't think she even give Benny any of the come on or made it thinking that there was a chance. She just said like she'd get to know him and stuff, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I thought Johnny Dave, Mr. Control Freak, Mr. Hypocrite 101, exactly what you'd said about the human condition of, do as I say, not as I do. I think he's just been a complete dick today, especially at the start of the episode.
Yeah, I thought it was really manipulative, to be honest. I thought it was out of order as well. I thought it was James level, and I don't think we've really seen that. Like you say, he's been cool as a cucumber, hasn't he, up until now? But trying to force her hand, and basically she's had one chat with this Benny guy, and he's saying, you need to go over there and tell him, you're not interested in that way. I was just like, what? And I honestly thought, that was the end. And I thought, as you said, we'd lost our villain of the show. Step up, Johnny. Long live the villain.
We have to have a baddie, Dave. He's like a pantomime, isn't it? He's behind you, but
Yeah.
it was
Boo.
it was out of order because the only thing I'd say, right, there's a flip side to this, Dave, is and I know as friends, and you've probably done it yourself. If you know something, you sort of stick up for your boys, don't you? In a way. But all them guys, especially, I'm worried about Caleb and Justine because Caleb's bullshitting Justine there,
Yeah.
and they all stick up for Johnny there. Oh, that was terrible grammar, Dave. I know I'm not the best, but that's terrible. They'll stick up for Johnny in the game, which was completely manoeuvred and engineered to just have that basic drop the mic moment at the end with Johnny, with someone saying he's not told her the truth, which is what you'd
Yeah.
said. Is they're going to be on. Honestly, I'm just worried about Justine and Caleb because I genuinely think that he's dropped a bit of a rick there. I know he doesn't want to offer Johnny up, but there was more to that. And fair play to the guys for sticking up for him, but they're on a fucking TV show, Dave. This isn't them going away to the weekend for a beefer and fucking, it's his word against theirs sort of thing. It's on TV. She's going to see what happens.
Do you think Caleb said anything wrong though? I mean, he's probably omitted some things, isn't he? And I think that's what you could probably accuse Johnny of as well. So, the thing about, after the challenge had finished and he went across and snogged her face off, he could have probably said, oh, there was that as well. But he's, when the lights are out and there's a bit of grinding under the sheets, Caleb's not going to see any of that stuff. I
No.
tell you what. I tell you what I thought was weird, Chris. Right, and I think I might have just spotted a plot hole in our producer-led bit of drama here. Right, so when Selly's going back, I'm skipping a lot here. We'll come back to some of the other stuff, but this was the main feature of tonight, wasn't it? Selly and Johnny. So when we had the Twitter game, and we'll go through some of the other things as well. It all comes out that Johnny's not told Selly everything, and there's more to come out. The guys put up like a wall of silence. Everyone said it was Selly and Johnny, who blank needs to know more about blank or whatever it was. But Sally was talking to the girls, right? Laurel, who I keep calling Lauren, Laurel is sat right there. She was in Casa Amor. She knows exactly what was going on. But Sally's talking to the girls and saying, "Oh, well, what if the guys aren't saying anything and just sticking up for Johnny, kind of thing." Laurel's right there. Ask her. She saw it
Oh, I
all.
didn't think of that. Dave, Inspector fucking Clouseau there, my friend. That is amazing. I didn't even see that. Oh, my word.
So not to, we want to believe it all, don't we? We get sucked
Yeah.
into it. That's why we have hundreds of bloody episodes on it. But I was sat there scratching my head, thinking, just she sat right there. But anyway, because all the rest of the girls were, were in the villa. But yeah, Laurel could have spilled all of the tea.
Ah, I didn't think of that, Dave. Yeah. I mean, I would say with it, it was great TV. It was great to see. Let's say Johnny's come out of it, and I think this is probably one of the only episodes where Benny was centre of attention and didn't say a fucking word. Dave, they just kept panning to him, and he was sat there just like pouting. He's looking good, he's flexing, walking around the villa, and I'm like, are they going to ask him anything? Is he just there as a bit of eye candy? I couldn't work that out, but I do think genuinely, Sally has got nothing wrong for her to explore, even if it's a friendship. And the way he forced her into that, and I could see, but it was just, I know it sounds daft today, but like body language. When she was putting her fingers over her mouth, when he was telling her, "Well, what are you going to
Mm.
say?" And she's like, "Well, I'm going to." She didn't want to say that. She felt like she was being forced into that situation. She was worried about what she was going to say to him. So, and then obviously when we panned back to Justine, she had obviously the reservations that we sort of wanted us to tell Johnny. She did have to. Justin, she may have been afraid to say that. I understand that she doesn't want to lose it, but I think they're not going to last, these two. And I know you said in the first episode that the relationships will last as long as till they get to the airport. They're not going to last together, these two, at all. I think his behaviour is just outrageous. He's brilliant to watch, but it's outrageous, and he's an absolute egomaniac, I think.
Yeah, and I thought he tried to rescue it midway through the episode, didn't he? Because he sort of pulled her for a chat and said, having spoken to Justine and Caleb, and I have to say, Chris, I think if there's a um, prize for like who gives the best advice, for this last week in particular, I think Justine has, she's kept it pretty real, hasn't she? She's not bullshitted either side when she's in the middle of a particular fracas, a bit of conflict there. She's always said what she thinks, but just not in a particularly head-on aggressive way. Um, and she'd spoken to both Sally and Johnny, um, and wasn't playing one off against the other. Was just like being there as a friend and listening and giving good advice. But yeah, he fucked it at the end. And like you say, old Benny there, he's just, it is like watching two alpha males, jockey for position. But he doesn't have to do really that much anyway. But anyway, getting back to that conversation with, Selly's trying to figure out what actually happened. Up steps Noah, Chris. Now, I don't know what it is about Noah, but I think he's got like calculating, shifty eyes for me. There's always a lot going on behind, what is he actually thinking? And that might be a bit unfair. He's only been on the screen for 2 episodes. But when he had the conversation with Kristen, he's like, eyes, boobs, eyes, boobs, eyes, boobs, all the time. And he's like, yeah, you're number one on my list. And fair play to Kirsten, she's like, call him out. He's like, well, you took Moira on the date, So, when he had the chance. So I'm not trusting this Noah. But I tell you what, when Selly goes across to ask Noah, you watch Casa Amor, you were on the outside at this time. What actually happened? What can I say, Chris? It's like bus for Johnny. Noah was very quick in throwing Johnny right under the bus.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think as you know what? I was interesting, Dave, having watched like loads of reality stuff and on Love Island, right? Which is really unheard of. And I know we're in unprecedented times, but the fact that they're allowed to talk about that they've seen him on TV and that
Yeah.
never happens usually. And that, like we had it the other week, didn't we? With who was it? Where they said like, it was Mackenzie, wasn't it? When Jalen had said about on TV and that, and they never usually do that. They never sort of correlate the two things together. But Noah just didn't give a fuck. He was like, well, I've seen it on telly. Yeah, he did. And it's like, oh no. I mean, Dave, let's be honest, right? If you're kissing a girl like that, right, as a man or whatever, and you put a sheet over your head, like that, and you go for it, there's got to be more than just fucking heavy petting going on. We're not a fucking swimming bath now, are we? Come on, bombing. There's been all sorts going on under that fucking
Get,
sheet. I'm
get the
telling you.
lifeguard blowing his whistle. Oi,
Yeah.
enough heavy petting.
Get off it. Yeah. No, but genuinely, when you're at that point, Dave, you've got to be a hell of a restraint for both, consensually to stop. I just don't fucking believe that he didn't go further.
So from my perspective, I'm not even sure it matters. It's like I said at the time Johnny exhibited in Casa Amor some weird behaviour because when Mercedes basically said, well, if you're just talking about Selly all the time, I'm going to explore things with Carrington. He looked really put out and like was rolling his eyes and stuff, and that was just weird, for me. And again, probably a bit controlling, maybe. I don't think it matters that much. Did they have sex or did they not? The reality, I said at the time, he just wants to nail her. in that good old romantic way, and that's it. And then he wants to go back to Selly. He wants to have a bit of fun in Casa Amor and then go back to Selly. So whether he did or not, for me, it doesn't matter. Everything else outside of that we did see, the kiss outside of, they'd already had the initial few kisses, and he came back and said, "Oh, this, we told the guys we kissed like 7 or 8 times or something," and then. There were things going on after that, after the challenge. There was no need for him to run across to her after the challenge is finished and snog her face off. So all of those things are you telling me that it matters whether when I say it doesn't matter? Of course it matters, but Sally should still dump him even if he didn't have sex with Mercedes.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the top and tail of it, Dave. That is, he's going to do it to. He's obviously insecure himself. His jealousy came out. He did. I mean, the thing is, what was daft was he redeemed himself about halfway through the episode, didn't he? And he said, "Look, I've had a chat with Caleb and Justin, and I need to do better. I need to be a better person, and I need to change and grow. And I'm sorry for putting you out the situation." So I was thinking, you know what? Fair fucks to him. But then when he did the game at the end, I was like, yep, that didn't last long, Johnny. You are fucked, my friend, because it's raw for a Dave, a partner, a boy. She's not calling him a boyfriend yet. And the one thing I would say though, Dave, right? So here's me, Mystic Chris. Now, Mr. Dave Horrocks has been absolutely on the money this whole series. With every prediction you have made, you have been on it. Usually, my Love Island radar is about the only thing that I'm good at predicting. That sport or anything, I'm terrible. This is a prediction, and we're going to mark it down episode 23, right? This is all a play, Dave. I'm going to say this. This only come in my head as we're talking. I know it's a producer-led thing, and I always call them producers out, right? So this is a play for Johnny Dave to do the sickly thing and make Sally his girlfriend. And when I say sickly, I mean the Love Island version of sickly, where you don't just say, "Oh, we've been going out. Well, yeah, she's my girlfriend or a boyfriend," because we don't have them ceremonies in real fucking life, Dave. If you end up with someone for 3 or 4 times, you become part of the furniture. Your boyfriend and girlfriend, aren't you, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So That's just real life. Not only this fucking go and find a load of different letters around the villa. So what's coming next, in my prediction, is a load of stupid little mini games for Selly. Johnny's going to have this come to Jesus, Blues Brothers, I have seen the light moment. And this is their play to win the show, Dave. Maybe not the next episode, but in 2 episodes' time, I think that's what's coming.
I'm gonna go 180 from you. I don't think she's got any choice really for her own credibility. Um, I think she needs to leave Johnny. I think she should couple up with Benny, even though we've seen practically nothing from Benny at all. He's done nothing wrong, whereas Johnny's put himself in there and he has behaved badly. I think, and one of the other notes I made down here, Chris, is just infidelity is just such poison for any relationship, and that you expect Sally to be the victim, kind of be the aggrieved party, but actually you can tell that it's taken a toll on Johnny as well.
Yeah.
And that's why I'd noted down that specific word, poison. I don't see a future for them now. And that's turned literally on this episode. With the way it's gone, that trust has gone. And I tell you again why I think that is Sally asked, oh no, Justine asked a brilliant question. She said to Sally, paraphrasing a bit, but she said something like, if I was in your position, what would you advise me to do? And she was like, Sally just said he's not worth it.
Yeah.
I think that
That's
was
true.
the key thing there. And I know it's harder when you're in that position because you've wrapped up. You've got the logical part of your brain telling you to do one thing, but your emotional part is still. She does have genuine feelings for Johnny. I think if he asked her to be his girlfriend, I think he's possibly flogging a dead horse there. So 2 predictions, completely the opposite. Let's see how that goes.
Brilliant, Dave. Brilliant. So, Dave, we've had a review, haven't we, today?
We have. I just got a few other little notes from this evening's episode. I thought Carrington and Laurel tonight. I'm suspicious of Carrington, if I'm honest, Chris, because everyone's not everyone, but you've seen comments from the villa, people saying that Carrington has been different since Casa Amor. Kirsten's obviously feeling a bit aggrieved because he's all this affectionate. He's just a genuine nice boyfriend, isn't he? He's doing everything right. Laurel did ask him though, if what are we going to do? I think she lives. Was it? It wasn't Austin, was it?
Alabama.
Alabama, that's it. And he lives in Utah. So, um, and said, "What happens if we?" She said, "What happens if we leave?" Now, fair play, he gave a pretty straight answer. So, if we left today, would we be boyfriend and girlfriend? No. I thought that was slightly brutal. But then he's also said, distance doesn't matter. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to that?
It does, Dave. Come on. He's not, unless he gets a relocation for work or she does, the real life is going to hit them at the end of this show. It's not, they're not going to have that time. I know we've got like technology now. If they love each other enough, and I'm using the love word, Dave, then you make it work and you make it happen. One of yous will have to sort of give on that. I understand that. What I would say is he's doing everything right and he's doing everything that we should genuinely believe what he's saying. But I'm like you, I still think he's a shifty fucker. I think she's into him more than he's into her. But there is something there. I'm trying to cut him a bit of slack because we've gone after him a few times because of his behaviour towards Kirsten, especially. He was terrible at times. Maybe this is it. Maybe that's just his way of dealing with a situation when he isn't actually emotionally or physically attracted to somebody. And Laurel is his type. She might be his earthrod, Dave. She grounds him and that. I don't know, but when we saw it on, was it the first series of Love Island? We had one of the couples who were like miles away from each other, and they lasted about 2 months. And I'm not saying that doesn't work and people don't have long distance relationship because they do, but the percentage of success is very, very slim. To be honest, especially America in these times of COVID in that, Dave, they're not going to be able to travel anyway a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to work personally.
I just think, when we saw him in Casa Amor, where he's looking to stick his earth rod everywhere, I just, I think
Well, it wasn't a live rod, Dave. But anyway,
I'm just going to have to go against you again. I just think that I think this is a calculated play. Now, I will say again, I think Carrington can come across like a really nice guy, and again, when he's with the lads and stuff, and he's given, different people good advice and stuff. I thought he gave, again, sort of trying to insert himself in the middle of that kind of Mackenzie and Connor conflict or potential recoupling. I thought that was a good matey kind of thing to do. But I think this change, I think it's a deliberate play to make sure that him and Laurel stay together to the end and basically just get as far as they can. So I think he's had his fun in Casa Amor. He's come back now. He thinks you're on the final stretch now. So, there's very few I would think that change, in and around now and go on to make the final three. So I think it's purely calculated. That's why you've seen this kind of Jekyll and Hyde change in personalities.
no, it's good that, Dave. It's quite a good analysis. I'm going to completely disagree with you, but I think it's a great analysis.
Now, did anything else come out in the Sucker Punch game for you?
No, not really. I think it Justine. I mean, Christy Teigen would love Justine and Caleb, which it's John Legend's wife, Dave. So they're like quite a good big power couple over in the States, John Legend and her. So that was nice. Obviously, Justine absolutely loved the fact that she got that response and said that they're a favourite couple. So yeah, that was quite nice. I think it gives a bit more validity to Justine and Caleb for me because they're now romping it. Johnny's fucking absolutely he's like the fucking tortoise and the tortoise. What's he called? Fucking
Tortoise in the
tortoise.
hair.
Yeah, they've gone off, looked the business, and then he's fucking he's just done a complete fuck up on them winning it. So I think at the moment they're absolutely romping it for me.
Yeah, I do think for the new guys, like I say, I think Noah's a little bit shifty. I think he'll try and couple up with someone, but I don't really see anyone buying it. I think Kirsten really likes Bennett, so I think there could be something there. I mean, we haven't seen her be affectionate really to anyone post Carrington, but just the way she was kind of touching his arm and stuff was a bit of a show of affection there. So I think out of the new guys, I think Bennett could couple up with Kirsten, and the big one, obviously, I think Selly possibly. Well, no, get off the fence, Dave. I think Selly will couple up with Benny.
Oh, I'm not sure, Dave. I'm going with a boyfriend girlfriend play. I'm sticking to that. I'm sticking to it.
So I did like the other thing that came out of the Sucker Punch game was I did like that Connor got called out for his B-Day action. um, even his like his aggressive comeback. He was like, "We're gonna have a talk about it, and then I'm pretty sure we'll end up being friends." They kind of believe him.
Yeah,
Um,
I do.
Carrington got called out, didn't he, for being as deep as a puddle? um, yeah, Calvin got called out for hopping from girl to girl. I can't see a future in, for the next kind of recoupling, Chris. It's going to be on Sunday night, isn't it? Bit of a
Yeah,
recoupling. You got more boys than girls, so I think the likes of Calvin, I can see going. And obviously, if I stick to my prediction, you could end up with someone like Johnny going, or at least being left single.
yeah, that's true. Actually, that would be the drama we're waiting on, Dave. To be honest, you could possibly be right there, but I just can't see it. It's set up for a Love Island special for me. But I'm happy to be proven wrong, Dave. As you know, my predictions are flaky at the best of times.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Horrocks, have you got that review that we've had posted?
Yes, yes. So again from the US, and it says, "Love the daily recaps. This podcast is a lot of fun with very funny commentary and witty chat. Last year's Love Island US was kind of boring, but this year has been fantastic. I was dead when they suggested Connor had made a wish to be big. Keep it up." Old Zoltar there. I tell you what, I didn't call it out in the episode. Did you notice? I think it was yesterday when Connor was having a chat with Mackenzie that he said he's a different man now to the one he walked in. It all adds up, Chris. You know, he's either made a wish with Zoltan, or you know, he's secretly Shazam.
I'd rather be Billy. What's he called? Billy
Billy
Fingered.
Batson.
Billy Batson. Yeah, I'd rather be him, I think.
Well, I think the body, you know, I think you know the body that he's got, he could well be Shazam. But
Oh, Dave. I tell you what, though, Dave, you said that. Sorry. What was that thing he did on the game when he looked at the camera and went, "We're going," like you said before about being friends? I was like, okay,
yeah,
Mr. fucking personality, Connor. Just don't say anything. Just pout. Just don't say a word. But yeah, no, cracking review, Dave. We've had some really great feedback of people with this series. Definitely love it. Absolutely love it.
yeah, I keep saying it, don't I? But when we can do a live show like this, or not live, but you know, recapping something that's just dropping on the air, I love it so much when we get that interaction, and you know, we can bring other people in the conversation and they can call us out, you know, for our shit at times, because ultimately it's just two mates, isn't it? Just having a bit of a chat about fucking reality TV show that we're uh, incomprehensibly obsessed about. But I tell you,
Amazing.
I did see one from Geek Girl Soup, and I didn't lose it this time, Chris.
All right,
So,
let's hear it, Dave.
you know, this one says FK Johnny. I think we can fill in the blanks there. So it says, "Damn, if Mackenzie was still there, she could explain to Kelt. Oh, that must be Sally. What Johnny's doing, because it's what M did to Connor." So yeah, can't disagree with that at all. So absolutely brilliant stuff. Well, mate, we're back. Next episode is on Sunday night, so we get a day off. Yay!
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess enjoy the day off, shall we? And I'll speak to you next week.
Let's go. Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.